What's going on, guys? Welcome to another DXY video, and I just want you to envision this. Like, where do you think the next EUR/USD trend is going to go? We got the daily chart in here, and I just want you to think about it for a little bit. Like, if you see a chart like this, then where do you think the next likely scenario is the price is gonna go? Most people, they will probably go into intraday chart and start looking, but if you just for once, just check the bigger picture, like the daily, the weekly, and I'm saying this because a lot of people don't do that, but if you look at the overall chart, then you can see it's pretty bullish, right? And now go back to 1 day for real quick. You can see it's pretty bullish. Like, okay, we got the supply, but if you look at the chart like this, mainly what you can see is that we have higher lows and we have higher highs. So what is the most likely scenario going to happen now for EUR/USD? It's probably creating another higher high, going back into a higher supply, and it will be located up there. So now if you go back to the 4 hour, we zoom in a little bit. Now what we can see is that we can get, or we are already getting it right now, a little bit of a rejection. So overall, like I said in a previous video, I was pretty bearish on the DXY. I didn't expect such a move, to be honest. I expected a little bit up to take these highs and things like that, but we got a major upside, highly bullish. So now for now, we got two scenarios. So we got supply up there, of course, and we can get a pullback like we are already seeing, but overall I'm expecting more upside. Like, we got this huge boost to the upside. Usually after it happens, a small pullback to the downside is likely, but overall the price action on EUR/USD is still bullish, and I'm still expecting these highs to be taken out. Now, especially if we go back to the DXY, one zone to mention in here, we don't really have anything. We only have this demand below in there. But for now, I will be bullish on EUR/USD. Now for the DXY, the one that controls all the dollar pairs, it is pretty bearish. Same scenario. If you zoom out a little bit on the DXY, we go back to the daily. Now, what can we see? First of all, we got a major uptrend in here, created supply, price touching supply, and now it's creating lower lows. Now, we got a small demand zone in here, so price might make a pullback back to the upside for a little bit. But overall, we don't really have any major untouched support. Like, as you can see in here, we had a downtrend in here, we had a demand zone being created, price touching it, going up, creating another demand zone. So this level in here has already been touched like 3 times. Like, if you count this, probably like 4 times already. That means the more times price comes back into a certain range, into a certain area, the weaker it gets. So even for the DXY, while we might get a small pullback to the upside, I will continue to be bearish until we reach at least until this demand below in there. So keep that in mind. We can still see a major drop on the DXY. Probably it won't happen that fast because this was during the NFP, of course, and yeah, they always use news events like that to push price in a direction. So like I said in a previous video, we saw a clean setup. We saw price touching in our supply we created up there. Then after it broke a trend line, created another supply, pricing touching in here. Last Friday, price was around here. I already said I'm going to be bearish until this one is removed or we're going to break these lows. Now we got NFP and price just smashed through all the demand zones, mainly because the overall price action was bearish. It was already shifting bearish for like weeks. Like last week was just one big bearish shift, one big pullback to the upside, getting some more liquidity, and then dropping us further back to the downside. And now we could get another pullback probably in this range. So if we extend this zone, we got a flip zone in here and price might make pullback to there, but overall I will continue to be bearish until we reach at least this fresh daily plus weekly demand below in there. So we can also view that on other pairs. Now if we go to the GBPUSD, for example, now what we can see on GBPUSD is mainly we had a nice trade in here and we went back to supply. So what happened? We went back to supply, price got some more liquidity, some more selling liquidity from here, and now it's dropping again. And mainly because DXY is making a pullback, of course, but this is also something nice to view. Like, why is DXY dropping? Mainly because we went up, we made another higher high, we touched in this supply zone, and from the moment we touched this supply zone, then selling orders came into play. A lot of buying liquidity, a lot of buy orders were being sold off around these highs, and a lot of sell orders were being added around these highs. Now, what we do see on the DXY for now is that we got a minor demand zone below in there, and it's not really a significant one. Like, usually you want to see some demand like this, for example, or demand below in here, where price made a significant switch in price. Now also, if we draw our trend line, what we can see is price is currently on top of this daily trend line. So that means that even for the GBP dollar, it can still drop a little bit further. Even if the DXY is bearish, then GBP dollar can start dropping a little bit more, mainly because the overall time frame is just bearish. We got a lot of selling liquidity, a lot of sell orders from these highs, and we already took out all the selling liquidity in here. So more fresh new orders can be added around here, and all the long orders are being sold off, creating more selling pressure to the downside. Now, okay, that said, go back to the 4 hour real quick. So we had these trend lines in here. Let's grab the best one. That's this one. So price already on here. We got a supply currently also in play. And what could happen next probably is we going lower. We're going to break this demand zone in here, and we're going to visit lower. Now we still have minor demand in here, but overall the bigger demand is located in here. Now let's go to the weekly time frame, because okay, right now the 4 hour is bearish, the daily is also switching bearish. Now we look at the weekly time frame, and the weekly time frame is still bullish. And that is a contradictory, of course, to what I just said. But let's analyze a little bit further. So what we do see is we had a change of character in here, and we have a minor demand zone in here. But overall, if you look at the previous price action from 2023, then we have a big supply zone in there on the weekly, right? Now, if we go and draw our minor trend line in here, we can also see price is breaking it right now. And this mainly tells us we got two scenarios. Most likely scenario is we're going to visit lower until this demand zone, and we might make another reversal from there, or we are going back into this fresh value. So this is another fresh value we have in here. That would mean we would break this demand zone, we go visit lower, and we go into better value. Now, we can also go to the 1 month real quick. And on the 1 month, we can see we have a very ugly chart. But overall, price action is still bullish. So most likely scenario for now is that price action on the higher time frame will stay bullish. So if we go back to the daily time frame real quick, we zoom in a little bit, then the most likely scenario for me for now is that we are going to break this trend line, visit lower, go back to demand, and catch up with that bigger overall trend, like on the weekly, on the monthly. And for now, it doesn't matter what the DXY is going to do. The GBP dollar is currently bearish, and most likely scenario is that it is going to continue to drop. So if the DXY makes a little up move, then GBP dollar can make a significant drop, probably back to demand in there. Now that's a little bit of the supply and demand and market shift, how we use it. Now going over to the AUDUSD dollar, what we can see is that price finally took out this low in here. We visited back into demand. So okay, overall time frame daily is bearish, yeah? So we need to look at the weekly to see where demand is located. Now what we can see is we created our lower low, we took out liquidity, but if we zoom this in a little bit, but overall we still have a value in here, and this is going to be a little bit range trading. So what we can see is that already since 2022, like start of 23, something like that, we have been in this range. Now how do we trade ranges is with our range tool. So we have the higher levels and we have the lower levels. Now we can see the lower levels are located in here together, of course, with a bigger overall demand zone. So let's grab that real quick. So we got bigger overall demand in here, right? And price can play a little bit ping pong. Like for now, okay, price action is shifting bearish. We might break the lows, but in the same scenario, we might also just get up because we are just in a range. And overall, it is not really clear currently what we're going to do. I'm going to be very honest with that. So therefore, we would have to see level to level. And how do we do that? Mainly to watch the price action on the 1 hour, or on the 4 hour, or on the daily, to see if we can get a reverse to the upside. For now, price action is bearish. You don't want to take any longs, you don't want to risk it. But at the same time, we already took the liquidity from these lows. We have some value below in there, and price might visit back in there and might make a reversal. It might not, it might continue to just keep dropping. Overall, it is bearish, but you have to keep in mind, since price already at these lows, the sell orders don't really make sense, because it's basic market knowledge, right? Like you want to sell high, buy low. Same thing in here. You want to wait for a good buying opportunity, to wait for price to make a reversal, to break these trends, to visit back into demand, things like that. Or in the highs, wait for it to reach supply, for it to break the trends, things like that, and then start initiating your sell orders. For now, I'm not really doing anything AUDUSD dollar. I'm just trying to explain whatever is happening in the markets. Now going over to NZDUSD dollar, yeah, price is just highly volatile right now. And what we saw is it took out the low. Yeah, it took out the low in here. Overall now, it is a little bit double. Like we have the demand in here. Price is currently in demand, but similar scenario. We have these lows in here, which are already taken out right now, but we might get another shot back to the lows to see if we can break it. The overall daily time frame is still bearish. We might see reversal, we might not, but that is just something you need to watch. Like if it's not very clear like it is right now, then you just want to wait. You want to wait with your buy orders. You probably don't want to have sell orders because we are already at these lows. So then you just want to wait, patiently wait to see what price is going to do. Is it going to make like change of characters? It is going to break like trend lines, create like another market shift. And then whenever that market shift is happening, you want to get into the market and you want to catch that next trend. And that is how we be patient in the market and how we can catch all those trends to the downside and to the upside. Now, a similar scenario, what we can see is that we are just in a range. Now, overall, on the higher time frames, we have supply in here. Market shift is bearish. We created another low. So for now, a likely scenario is also that we are going to break this demand and visit lower. But at the same time, if price on the daily might get a market shift back to the upside, then we might even visit back until the highs. And that is just two scenarios I'm trading. I don't always have one bias unless we have a very clear zone, right? But right now it's not very clear, so I'm just patiently waiting to see what's going to happen. We're going to break lower and visit back until that lower demand, or are we going to stay here and create like another freshly created demand? Because we break the highs, we create another market shift back to the upside. And like I said, for now, I'm not really doing anything. I'm just patiently waiting for it. And that's mainly how I see all the dollar pairs right now. Now, if we go to gold, what we can see in gold is that price is just highly bullish. We have a bullish market shift. We have a bullish market structure. Now, if we go to the 4-hour real quick, of course, we dropped from our supply zone, right? Like I said, possibly we might drop from this supply zone. But overall price action is still bullish. I don't like this price action in here at all. It's just really ugly. Like mainly what we saw is we had a change of character in here and price just visiting back into supply. So currently, even on gold, the supply is in play. This supply is currently in play and price might easily be dropping. It might easily break these lows and visit back into demand. And now for now, I don't really want to do anything. If you want to have some shorts, then this would be a nice area, or this would be a nice area. Even in here, you might still take a short, because most likely scenario right now is that supply is in play on the 4-hour, and that is going to visit back lower into a higher time frame demand zone, which is located on the daily time frame and on the weekly time frame. So this is our daily demand zone below in there. Now, if we go to the 4-hour real quick, then we see this one, right? This is the 4-hour plus daily stacked demand zone. And what I prefer to see, price dropping, breaking these lows, going back into demand, and then flying up again, catching that weekly trend again, like going back with the weekly trend. And this is mainly how I always view the market and how I always view these market shifts. I don't want to buy high and sell low, or sell low and buy high. I just basically wait for price to go low, go back until this demand zone, catch some more orders, and then have the best possibly edge in the market to catch that next up move, because likely scenario is that it's going to go back up because the weekly and the monthly is bullish, but now lower time frames, 4 hours bearish, so we need a higher time frame demand zone to push back up. Okay, now that said, going back to the Bitcoin, similar scenario again, higher time frames. Like I already laid out in a previous video, I was pretty bearish, and I expected something like this to happen already in here. But what really happened right now on the Bitcoin, if we look at this overall structure in here, okay, what we clearly saw is we had a change of character in here. Now lower time frames, of course, blah all manipulation, trend lines, whatever. Overall, on the weekly time frame, we just created supply. That's it. We broke the low, we created supply, price visited back in supply, and it dropped from there. Now create another low, and now we need another higher time frame demand zone to push it back up again. Now for now, that demand zone is located at like a minimum 45k. Now if we go to the monthly time frame, we can see it a little bit higher, so we can see we already have a monthly time frame demand in here. So for now, okay, we already have a supply, demand being removed. So we have these lows in here being taken out. Now we have this weekly demand zone in here. Now if we go back to the week, monthly demands in here. Now if we go back to the weekly, what we can see is that we have demand in here. So overall price might visit a little bit back lower, but we already took out liquidity. We already are in that monthly demand zone. So for now, it might just be a false breakout back to the downside. We might make a reversal from here, mainly because the overall monthly is still bullish. So if we visit back into a monthly demand, then likely scenario is price is going to react to that monthly demand, which could be happening right now. Now for now, of course, price is still bearish. Like if you want to invest long term, still good opportunity. If price goes lower, better opportunity. And that's just how you want to view the market. Now, if you really want to trade it, you want to wait for that next up move. You want to wait for price and the 4 hour probably to make a little bit of a reversal, to make something similar like this, like we saw in here. Okay, we had supply, price slowly climbing up, creating our demand, and then flying from there, breaking the trend line. And you could catch some nice longs in there. Similar scenario in here, just want to wait for that. Like we have a daily overall market shift back to the downside, but at the same time, price is in monthly demand. So is it good for shorts? No, not at all. Is it good for longs? Not yet. You just want to wait for those longs to be happening. And that's just how I view the market overall. And I hope you guys understand a little bit more like what we're doing here. So if you really want to learn, be sure to join the community. We got a whole course about market shifts and market dynamic and everything like that. And that said, I'm going to close this video and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Ciao.